Rachel Zegler is constantly getting herself into trouble. Leading up to the release of Snow White, she of course called the prince creepy and a stalker and said that the original film was outdated and that they were going to modernize it. Then, right before release, she took to social media and attacked critics, and now she is proudly touting that the Snow White box office is insanely good and they're the number one in the world, even though there's really no competition in theaters. And then she's immediately disabled the comments when she received any sort of pushback. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, obviously, Rachel Zegler is a very controversial person, one of the most in Hollywood at this point in time. She doesn't know when to quit it. She doesn't know when she is voicing an opinion that people are going to push back on, and then when they do, she cries about it. She gets upset about it. She locks her social media. She wears the no tears left to cry sweaters. And while she has been a little bit better because of her new big fancy PR team, it's clearly not working completely because she has now taken to social media, made a statement, and then disabled the comments. So if there's one thing we've learned during the long and chaotic lead up to Disney's live action Snow White, it's that Rachel Zegler has a remarkable talent for making things worse. And now, even as the dust settles from the film's shockingly weak box office debut, Rachel Zegler has reemerged not with humility or grace, but with a self-congratulatory Instagram post declaring number one movie in the world. She can say whatever she wants on her social media, but she needs to understand that she is going to receive criticism for it, especially the way that she acts, right? She is playing what was once a very feminine, graceful, kind of whimsical character, and she has acted nothing like that in the movie or even in real life. It says that's right after Snow White face planted into theaters with a dismal 42.2 million domestic opening and 85.3 million worldwide. She has posted a photo of her popping out of what appears to be her trailer, striking a pose, and proudly proclaimed herself Queen of the Weekend. Comments disabled, of course, because even she knows what the reaction would have been. Now, she is, of course, receiving quite a lot of backlash over on X, and I can't say that I'm particularly surprised because this is just something that she does. She constantly pokes the bear and then she runs away. She makes a statement and then she just ignores any sort of criticism. But this isn't just tone deaf, it's theatrical delusion. Let's be clear, Snow White may have topped the box office this weekend, but it did so in the weakest release frame of the year. And it also had virtually no competition, sure. Mickey 17 is still in theaters, but that kind of fell off because it's already going on to digital. So that's like the biggest name that it had to compete with, and that had already fallen off the map. It's not like it's launching in 2 weeks when Minecraft is going to be out, because that would completely pummel this film and it wouldn't be anything except for left in the dust. And even then, the film fell below projections, underperformed just about every major Disney remake in recent memory, and became a case study in how not to launch a $250 million tentpole. But to Zegler, who has never appeared in a financially successful film, it's number one in the world, as if she's standing atop the ruins of a billion-dollar empire and demanding we all applaud. I feel like she is probably being told to just tout any numbers they're giving her. And in this case, maybe it's just the number one movie in the world, but we know that Disney constantly just says whatever they want about their movies. They claim that it's this massive success and everybody's watching it and loving it, even though the numbers paint a very different picture. Because yes, it had no competition, but it underperformed just about every major Disney remake in recent memory, and it's also the worst rated. Even look at something like Mulan, for example, that launched in 2020 when theaters were closed and it went straight to Disney Plus, but even that has stronger critic and user scores than Snow White. The controversial Little Mermaid remake from 2023 also did spectacular compared to this, even though that did not make any money. It had just gotten to the point where it could have started making a profit. That has better scores. I mean, this movie is a failure in every way, shape, and form. The irony is palpable, though, it says. This is the same actress Disney has been shielding from the press tour for months after her barrage of viral PR disasters, including calling the 1937 original dated, labeling the prince a stalker, mocking traditional fairy tale romance, and lest we forget, telling Trump supporters they should never know peace. I totally understand that not everybody is going to agree on things like politics, but you can voice your political opinion in a respectful way. But instead, she just said that I hope that you guys never know peace. What a terrible thing to say. She alienated Disney loyalists, families, and fairy tale fans alike, and the studio had to resort to tightly scripted vignettes overseas just to get her face out of the public. And now she's back posting photos of herself grinning in front of a trailer door and pretending none of it happened. What's funny is that this movie did so bad, the Marvels technically did better. A movie that was considered one of the worst, if not at that point in time, the worst MCU film ever launched and rated. And then for some reason, Rachel Zegler maybe just doesn't know that or sees that and is completely ignoring the fact that her movie did worse. I just do not know how she has the guts to constantly spew BS towards the people that she really needs to swipe their credit cards. And sure, I'm definitely aware that this is not a movie for everybody, right? Especially in my audience. There are people, I'm sure, who would not go and watch this. But Rachel Zegler has made it so that everybody cares because of how disrespectful she has been to the source material. Even if you are not a fan of Snow White specifically, maybe you're watching this video and you're like, I'm a man. It's never really been for me. But you can understand that there are people out there who she has completely disrespected in every franchise she's been a part of, whether it is in Shazam or in The Hunger Games or now as a Disney princess. You can recognize that disrespect that she has been touting, and that's why you care. And that is so important. And she's mad at that how dare people criticize me. And it's just so funny because she just never learns. And sure, this is not like the worst statement that she has ever made. It's not like she is targeting anybody specifically like she did right before launch, where she went on social media and was like, hey, listen, about the West Side Story, I was in that and I did perfectly fine in that. My voice was good in that. It's not my fault you don't like my voice, basically. But this is still not a good look nonetheless, because she's trying to tout about her smashing success when it's not a smashing success. So I'll be keeping my eyes on what happens with Snow White. I think weekend to over weekend next week, it is going to drop by probably like 70 to 75% in the box office. Usually for the live action adaptations is about 50%. I don't see that happening. Maybe because the numbers are lower, it won't be such a dramatic drop, but I am curious to see if Rachel Zegler makes any other controversial statements over the next couple of weeks as it is in theaters, but this is just still not a very good look for her. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.